Well, hello there, YouTube. Hi, how are you? Good, I hope. It's Saint Riot and something a little different, some Armored Core. As you probably maybe know if you watched any of my Armored Core playthrough, it's here. It's on YouTube. You can watch it and find it. I got into a sort of a Pale Drake type of thing, and I was running like a all-white paint job with the Moonlight and the Pulse Blade because it was the same color as the Moonlight. But since I've done New Game Plus and New Game Plus 2, I found all these coral weapons, and I have a little, it's a little bit of lore trivia. I bet you didn't know. I'm sure most of you probably understand that, I had like this Moonlight slash sword build that I was running while I was playing Armored Core, and it was based off of Seath the Scaleless, whom you get the Moonlight Greatsword from in Dark Souls 1. But did you know, I bet you didn't, that there used to be a black dragon in the From Software games. His name was Gira, or Gyra. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. And that was back in the Kingsfield days. And back in the Kingsfield days, you had to beat Gyra to get the Moonlight Greatsword. And Gyra was a black dragon, and the black dragon apparently hated Seath. I'm not sure. I think they had like, black dragon, white dragon, yin-yang thing going on. But, yeah, there was a little bit of a shout-out to Gyra, or Gira, whatever, in Dark Souls 3 with the black dragon Midir. And Midir's soul could be transposed for a spell called Old Moonlight. And it talked about how the Old Moonlight predated even the Seath Moonlight, which, that dates back to Kingsfield 1. So, yeah, little lore tidbit there. Now, me, myself, I didn't know much about Gira or Gyra. I had to look up all this stuff. However, I am familiar with old Calamity, and upon learning about Gyra, I became convinced that Calamity and Midir were both throwbacks to old Gyra or Gira. And since Calamity so prominently features black with red, and Seath so prominently features white with blue, I thought it would be cool to use the coral weapons, make a sort of Calamite-inspired build. So this is Calamity, is the name of this mech that I have here. And it's essentially the same build that I was running. It's a melee build. We've got the Basho arms and the Kikaku booster for the extra melee damage and all that stuff, and the help with the melee. And I'm using some lightweight legs and lightweight core, so that I can, be pretty fast and have a good, quick boost. And I'll show off. I showed off the suit at the start there. I'll show it off again at the end. The assembly. I'll show it at the end of the video as well. So I went with a sort of black paint job with that crusty, decaying yellow orangish that Calamity has on, and then Calamity has the one big red eye, so I used the head that has that one big red eye. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. I want to call it One Mind, but that's a damn Sekiro thing, so I don't know. It's it's one of the All Mind pieces. I think it's called Mind Alpha, but I could be wrong on that. But it features prominently like a big red like diamond you can put right in the center if you color it right, and that's very much a callback to Calamity, the Calamitous Dragon. So in this first fight here, these little wheelie boys, they will just run circles around you like this if you are content to stay on the ground with them. So most of the time where I'm fighting these types of dudes, I'm trying to stay in the air a little bit. I'm not trying to like just float forever, but I'll try and make use of the one thing I have that these guys don't have, and that's like easy access to me, like flying around. The little wheelie boys, I think, are better suited for that than the big wheelie boys. with the massive tank treads. I'm not entirely sure about that though, because I haven't played around with any of them yet. And so we're using the red shift, I believe it is called, and that is like the red moonlight, as well as the coral oscillator. That's like the red coral blade. And this thing rules. This attack right here, oh my god, the range on that is so much better than you think it is. And as you can see there, it does so much build-up against your opponent's, I want to say posture bar. Hopefully you know what I mean. But yeah, like it's so quick to stagger people. And the range is so much better than you think it would be. This right here, actually, that this right here that you are watching, is the very first like PvP I did with this particular build. This was the first arena duel that I did. And then after this, the people that I was playing with, a bunch of people hopped on, and so we jumped into some 3v3s, and I recorded those for your viewing pleasure as well. And then I'm using the coquelette. I'm probably saying that wrong. The like starting pistol that you can get, and I love this thing. As well as the assault armor. We're also using that, and assault armor is great. It is essentially drive impact from Street Fighter, if you're familiar with that. Where it's just like, I'm gonna do a whole lot of damage and I have hyper armor, and it's hard to break me out of it. And then if your opponent presses that same drive impact after you've pressed it, then they win, right? It's just whoever pressed it last wins. So like if you run up on somebody else using assault armor and they use it and you see them using it, you use it, and now you've won the trade, right? It's great, and it's cool. I'm not great with the coral generators. I'm not great with those, so expect to see me screwing up while I'm using it. Essentially, they give you a ton of energy, and if you run out of energy completely, they give you that energy back very quickly. However, they are slow to regenerate energy otherwise. So if you just use some of your energy, it takes a long time to get it back. But if you just blow through it as fast as you can, it will come back very quickly. But it's red. It makes the generator, it makes the flames on your boosters red. And it makes my assault armor red. And so, like, we kind of have to use it, right? So I'm using Weapon Bay and taking advantage of that. So my left hand is just 2 left-hand weapons. I don't have a shoulder-mounted weapon. Just 2 left-hand weapons. And no shoulder weapon on the right hand either. And that's just to also help keep my weight down. And it works pretty well. It feels good to be this dexterous and agile, he said, as he was shot out of the sky. It's okay. This will make a comeback. This is like the best melee build I have had in the arena. After trying out several different things, but mostly always using Moonlight, switching to Redshift, which works much better with my playstyle because the Moonlight is really good at that charge attack. But the Redshift is better at the double toss, and that's what I prefer to do, is the little double toss. So I switched to that and have not looked back. It works great. And the Coral Oscillator is awesome. It doesn't have the double tap, that you're used to if you use the Pulse Blade. It doesn't have that. Instead, it has that like long, slow. If you've ever played Dark Souls 2, it is very reminiscent of the Fume Knight Colossal Sword attack that the Fume Knight does, where it's like this very long, slow, sort of from left to right turning attack that covers a massive amount of space but is very slow. It's very similar to that. And then its regular attack is just one quick slash. But it does good damage, and it does good damage on this build. And it fits the theme of the build, so I've stuck with it thus far. and I just like having the pistol. You know, I've messed around with other stuff, miniguns, chain gun, whatever you want to call it. So the other pistols, I've messed around with those. I've messed around with some of the laser rifles, or plasma rifles, I forget which, maybe both. And I've enjoyed all that, but nothing has felt as good as just the pistol. I just love the pistol. The big pistol's also good. It just weighs more, and so, you know, I'm content to use the smaller pistol. This is like the closest thing to Bloodborne that I have played. Like, From Software has made a bunch of games since Bloodborne, and none of them feel as Bloodborne inspired as this Armored Core game, which I'm sure will get Armored Core people mad at me. But I don't care. It's true to me, damn it. And yeah, so that's the build pretty much, and that's what I'm running. Just some light legs, a light core, a head that reminds me of Calamity, the Basho arms, that's important, and then the oscillator, the red shift, and the pistol, and assault armor. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Oh, for my FCS, I use the close range. I forget which one it is, but I'll show it off at the end of the video here, and you'll be able to see. But I use it for the close range assist, because everything I do is close range. My pistol's pretty garbage, unless I'm hitting you at point blank range. I gotta say, this was pretty sneaky right here, of old Saint Riot. Getting away from that guy with as little health as I have, and then coming back in from the other side. Didn't manage to get him with the oscillator, but I did manage to stay alive, and that's, you know, that's important when there's only a minute left, and your team is this close in terms of score with the other team, you know. But I got my lick back, as they say. I got my lick back, which felt good, and it was. I don't know how people play Armored Core Arena. I don't know if you're allowed, like, if the community frowns upon, you know, like, shenanigans like that, like going up and then going down, and, you know, deciding to hide. You know, like earlier when I was fighting the guy who was using the treads, and I just basically was like, okay, well, I'm not going to stand on the ground and let you run circles around me. I don't know, like, what's frowned upon and what's not. I'm just playing, you know, just to play. That was a dumb charge attack right there. I thought I had the oscillator. I had the red shift. If I had used the oscillator of the charged attack, that would have been fine. If it was red shift, I should have gone for the double tap, and we might have got the kill there. But it didn't matter. We did pretty good, you know, and our team won. And then the match after this, we just absolutely killed it. Also, my homie down there, Joey Freshwater, this is like his first time ever playing Armored Core PvP, ever at all. So, you know, he's just now getting a feel for things and how it all works. So, I know he doesn't have a lot of points, but don't be rough on old Ghost Hardware. He's new. I'm also new, so don't be mean to me either. Please be nice to us. And so that'll pretty much do it. That pretty much wraps it up. I don't have anything else really to tell you. I will once again show off the exact assembly that I'm using at the end of this video. And I really like it. I'm a melee focused type of person. I would like to play around some more, and maybe try out dual pistols, or maybe try out like dual pistol energy weapons or something like that. I think that could be fun. And, you know, maybe try out like the quad legs or something, like some energy weapons, some dual pistols, quad legs. I would really like to play around with some other stuff, but I am such a melee focused type of person. If you watch any of my Elden Ring PvP content, you will know this. Like, even all of my caster builds that I make, they are melee focused casters. They like to cast spells that you get up close and cast. And I work on combos and stuff. You know, can I combo a melee hit off of this spell? that's a thing I guess I should talk about. The oscillator. If it's overheating and you try to use it, it will let you try to use it, and that will absolutely come back to bite you in the ass. That's the second time I think I've done it in this video. It's something I was aware of, so I was trying not to do it, but like sometimes I would not actually look at the screen. I would just hope that I had, it felt like enough time had passed. I talk about this in a lot of PvP videos. Everything from Street Fighter to Elden Ring to Armored Core now. When you're engaged in like a fight, a lot of times it feels like, and this is true in real life too, if you've never been in a fight in real life, I promise you this is real. The fight might last 15, 30, 45 seconds. It will feel like it was 6.5 minutes long. And it's the same thing there with the oscillator. It's in your head, you're like, oh yeah, it's been plenty of time. But now that I'm watching it back and I'm watching this, I'm like, of course that wasn't enough time to try and use the oscillator again, but that's just the way it is. You can always just look at your screen and see whether or not it actually is time or not. But yeah, you can see the oscillator like doing work. I love this thing. It's so good. The charge attack on it, I thought it would suck at first, but it doesn't. It rules. Also, there's that drive impact I was telling y'all about. Just press it last and you win. So yeah, sorry, I'm rambling, because I don't have anything else really to say other than just commentate on the match that you're seeing here. I don't know any of my opponents' like skill levels. Like, I know these people, they hang out in streams all the time, and we all sort of like run in the same circles, most of us. I think I know everybody here, but yeah, some of them have put a lot more time into this, and some of them have not put that much time into it. So I don't know like the skill levels. I'm not trying to say that this build it rules and is good or overpowered or anything like that, so please don't get that impression. I'm just saying I really like it, and I have better results with this than I do with when I was using the Moonlight build. And it's because, like I said, the Moonlight likes that charge attack. That's what shines the most on that. Whereas the Redshift is better with that consecutive attack when you do that, and that's how I like to play. So that's what I use, and yeah, it just works out much better. And you'll see like the points that I get in this round compared to the other rounds as I get more accustomed to the PvP and to my opponents and to the build. Just start doing better. And I guess I should also say, like the 3v3s and 2v2s, that's what interests me more than the 1v1s. That's true of any game like this, where you sort of have, just sort of PvP added to the game. Not necessarily a PvP game, just a game that has PvP. As compared to something like Street Fighter or Tekken, where, 1v1s, that's what you want. That's what the game was like made for. It was made just for that type of thing. But in like Elden Ring and Armored Core now, I just much prefer, the random chaotic nature of these multi-person matches. They're just more fun to me, so that's what I focus on and do. But I know a lot of you, probably liked Armored Core before Armored Core 6 came out, and I know it's probably been really nice to see other people, oh my god, this game rules, this is so awesome, sort of validate your taste by telling you the game that you liked was awesome, actually, and they should make more of it. And then, on the other hand, I know there are people like me who had never played an Armored Core before, and you're really enjoying it, and both of those people had asked that I put some more Armored Core PvP videos up. And so here you go. And I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will show off the assembly now. And yeah, I'm probably will be back with some more. Maybe we'll try out some other stuff, like I said, dual pistols or some dual energy weapons maybe. Definitely want to check out the quad legs, and maybe the reverse joint legs as well. There's a lot of stuff I want to play around with. We'll see what I get into. But here's the assembly. Thanks for watching the video. I will see you guys very soon. Until then, later y'all.